right, welcome to the Access to Success podcast featuring Project Shine. This is episode 2 of the Project Shine season, and I'm your host, Saeed Al-Basha, and joining me on this journey is the one and only Mike Diamond. In this season, we're going to explore and redefine some of the topics that have been abused over the years. Look, this is an era of misinformation and pretty much information overload, right? We're going to simplify and show you some of the applications for a variety of topics, like motivation, goal setting, daily rituals, and a bunch of other ones. But before I get into today's topic, I do want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by our good friends at North Hollywood Toyota. When it's time to pick up that new or used car, make sure you go see Shams and AJ at NoHo Toyota and mention Mike Diamond or the Access to Success podcast for the absolute best deals on your next car. All right, so today we're going to get into something that absolutely stops us in our tracks: fear. It's that thing that prevents you from launching that business you've been dreaming about or going over to talk to that guy or girl you find attractive. It's also the thing that may stop you from being yourself out of fear of judgment. Fear has a way to get the best of us, but after you hear today's show, we're confident that you'll be able to take some of that control back. We'll get into where fear comes from, why it's useful, and how to identify it so it doesn't stop you from taking the necessary action to move forward. So come hang out with us and let's chat about how we can break fear. Good stuff, man. All right, we're here back with the second edition of Project Shine with my man Mike Diamond. I'm Saeed Al-Basha, and today we're going to talk about breaking fear. Okay. And why breaking fear is also important, because we talked about having a flexible mindset in the first edition. So first, let's talk about where fear comes from, because I think if we understand where it comes from, we might be able to better wrap our heads around how to conquer it.
Okay, so there's two ways to look at it. When I always talk about anything we're doing in life, you, me, anyone has a purpose or a role. I mean, look at the word role, R-O-L-E. You have to remove obstacles to live empowered.
Remove obstacles to live empowered, R-O-L-E.
Right. Then you find your role. The biggest problem we have in life is managing and breaking our fears. Okay? So, two ways to look at fear. Think, feel, and act. Or feel, act, then think.
Okay. So what's
so
the
you
difference?
have a thought, right? So you ruminated a thought, right? I'm obsessed about the future. I'm worried about the future. Okay? I'm afraid something's going to happen. Worst case scenario, because we do that all the time, right? Then what do? That thought brings a feeling, right? That feeling, emotion, energy, emotion, causes us to act a certain way. That's one way to have fear, right? Thinking about things, right? The second way is the environment triggers us to feel, okay? Then we go into fight, flight, or freeze mode emotionally. We act out because our emotions hijack us, right? And then what happens? Then we think, oh my God, look what I've done. So we have to become greater than our environment in that and manage our emotions and become emotionally intelligent, socially intelligent, right? Or we have to know how to control our thoughts, right? And become mindful. So perfect example, you're driving down the highway. Someone cuts you off. Naturally, you go into amygdala, lizard brain, fight, flight, or freeze mode because there's danger from the environment. So anytime we have any kind of fear, I'm afraid I'm not going to get what I want, I have fear. I'm going to lose what I have fear, right? I have guilt and shame for something I've done in the past, and people are going to, I'm going to get caught. I have fear, right? Our secrets kill us, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm worried about the future. I have fear. Has to be one of the four, right? If you are in one of those states, where are you not? You're not in the moment. So, perfect example. We're sitting here right now. Anything could be going wrong in my world, right? But in reality, I'm sitting here right now. So am I okay? Yes. As dumb as that sounds, if I'm okay right this second, then I'm okay. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. He found peace in the moment. That you have to be that mindful. So when you look at fear, you're looking at the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, or freeze. Parasympathetic nervous, rest and digest. Let's look at animals. Okay? Animals, say a zebra, lioness. Zebra's on lunch break in the Serengeti. He's a vegan. He's snacking on some berries, right? He's at the watering hole. Lioness is on lunch break. Zebra's on the menu. Now, if he doesn't get his lunch to go, guess what? He's dead.
He is lunch.
Right? Exactly. So what does he do? He senses through his amygdala, his lizard brain, oh my God, sees the lioness. His sympathetic nervous system pumps blood, hands and feet, and he takes off. Lioness, sympathetic nervous system's going off, chases. So let's say for this moment, zebra gets away. The one thing the zebra doesn't do is when it gets away from danger, it doesn't fire and wire stress hormones all day. It doesn't ruminate going, I hate lionesses. I hate lionesses. He's not sitting in traffic on the Serengeti going, that person that cut me off, that person that cut me off. So what are you doing? Thought alone can then fire and wire stress hormones. Okay? So if you look at those thoughts, it's like if I sit here all day and I'm ruminating and having sexual thoughts, I'm going to get horny. Okay?
Yeah.
So we have to create a gap between thought and emotion and action. And that's why I use the stop method. When you break fear, I use the stop method, which is simply stop when you feel disturbed. Okay? So if I'm having crazy thoughts and those thoughts are getting me riled up, emotional, I read an email, someone writes something to me, I start ruminating, that person, stop. Just stop. T, take a breath. By breathing diaphragmatically, you go from sympathetic nervous system into parasympathetic nervous system. Some people say that isn't true. I'm like, well, okay. Let's look at two athletes in a boxing ring. Okay? They're in combat. They're trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Okay? Sympathetic nervous system. You're in fight mode. Okay? Punching, kicking, whatever. You survive the round. You get back to the corner. The corner man says, take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Now, by breathing diaphragmatically, you go out of fight, flight, and freeze into prefrontal cortex, your executive function, where you can take information. Okay? 8 to 10 deep diaphragmatic breaths get you into prefrontal cortex. Okay? Now, observe. S, stop, take a breath. T, I'm afraid I'm not going to get what I want, lose what I've got, guilt and shame for something I've done. I'm worried about the future. Has to be one of the four. Stop, get it down. Then proceed. So you become emotionally intelligent by becoming mindful, by breathing diaphragmatically when you feel disturbed. Now, everything is habit, right? So if you start your day by breathing diaphragmatically correctly and understanding when you wake up in the morning, my head's here, stop, come back to the moment, right? My head's over here, let it go, stop. The perfect example is this. When you watch traffic, if you were standing on the side of a freeway, you would observe the cars go by. They're the thoughts. Let the cars go by. If you jump into the traffic, it gets crazy.
Not going to end well.
Exactly. So I never let a thought take me. I let the thought pass. I don't take myself serious. And then I shift. Then I go, okay, I'm going to breathe until I'm centered and I'm settled. And then it's habit.
There's a ton behind what you just said right now. I think starting your day with a breathing exercise can be the most simple thing you can adopt into your life, but starting your day off on the right foot.
So you're not breathing in your chest. You're not hyperventilating.
Right.
So people go, I'm breathing. No, you're hyperventilating.
Right.
I'm talking about inhaling through the nose, filling the diaphragm, which is your belly full of air, holding that, which is slowing everything down, and then exhaling through the mouth. So the technique, a lot of the Navy SEALs, Mark Devine, is box breathing, right? Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, like a box, okay?
4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 each. You don't have to count 4, but you want to breathe in, hold, then let go of the breath. You know, because then you can slow everything down. Now, if you get in the habit, now, like you said, I always start with attitude. How's my attitude this morning? That's a 5. Why? Right?
It's good to ask why.
Why is my attitude off today?
Assessment.
Right? Second, what do I have to accept in my reality in this moment? People don't want to accept. And write a list down. Need to accept that I've got to pay these bills. Need to accept I've got to do this. Need to accept I've got to do that. Need to accept that I'm feeling average today, right? Then, right, action. What action do I need to take right now? First of all, to change my attitude, right? And to have a successful day. Because you have to have action, have a plan of action. Then gratitude. And I always start with the simple things like I'm grateful that I've got a cool pair of shoes on. I'm grateful that, to be honest with you, I'm brushing my teeth, right? And then start with that so my mind is clear. Then I do a series of Wim Hof breathing, who's the Iceman, who's the best.
He's insane.
He's the best. I do about 4 or 5 rounds of his, and then I go straight into deep diaphragmatic breathing for about 20 minutes. And then I do about 10, 15, depending on the day, manifesting. Visualizing with an elevated emotion because the mind doesn't know the difference. Okay, it's been proven. Through mental repetition. You know, if I see it, I can hold it. And then through the reticular activating system, the law of attraction, you only attract in the reticular, the net, what you believe is yours. But you have to believe it.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely the visualization is a powerful tool.
Huge.
There's I forget which university did this study.
Stanford, I think it was. The basketball? Or
yes.
Yes.
Yes. So 3 sets of groups.
Yep.
First set, they were told to practice free throws.
Correct.
Shoot free throws every day for 30 days.
Yep.
Second group did nothing.
Correct.
You weren't expected to practice.
Nothing.
And you didn't have to think about it. Third group, no practice, just visualize.
Correct.
Visualize yourself shooting free throws. Visualize the ball going through the net.
Yep.
Visualize success.
Yep.
After 30 days, they took a sample of the free throw shots. The first group improved by 24%, I believe it was.
Correct. Yep.
Because they practiced. They practiced free throws. They sat and shot their free throws on for that whole month. The second group, no improvement expected because they didn't do anything. The third group improved by 23%.
Yep.
Almost as much as those who practiced by just visualizing what the ball looked like going through the net.
Correct.
That's how powerful visualization can be if it's married with some sort of emotional backing.
Well, look at it like this, okay? So I'll give you a perfect example. Where were you September 11th?
I remember exactly. I had woken up and my mom was already watching the news and she was like, I can't believe this is happening. And it was a regular work day for me, so I reported to work, but the phones were dead.
Okay, what day was it? Do you remember? Was it Tuesday, right, or something?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Well, say it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that was September 11th. Where were you September 9th?
I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, why? Because a memory was created because of the emotion that was connected to the event. So I play a song for you. You like, bang, love that song. I remember I was with this girl. We drank a coffee, right? Because the emotion connected to the song.
Yeah.
Right? So our brain fires and wires and creates the connection because of the emotion, the elevated experience. Okay? So, knowing that trauma, fear, is all based on emotion. So the environment can trigger the fear. So let's go really deep. A girl is abused. She's young. She's blocked out the memories of abuse. The guy that abuses her smokes cigarettes and has nicotine on his fingers. When she smells nicotine, the trauma is triggered and she doesn't even know why.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the emotion of the abuse, even though she buries it. Okay? So let's go into Pavlov's theory. Pavlov got his dogs, right? Rang a bell, fed the dog. Rang a bell, fed the dog. Rang a bell, didn't feed the dog. The dog produced saliva.
Mm-hmm.
So the environment can trigger fear. So when you're talking about fear, you have to be aware of your emotions. Why am I disturbed? If you become emotionally intelligent, which means self-awareness of one's emotions, I am becoming aware and conscious of how I feel, and you stop and go, why? Where is this coming from? So when you look at neuro-linguistic programming, any kind of work on the subconscious mind, we're going into the programming, and we have to then see what's in the programming and why. Do you know?
Yeah.
Why do I have that fear? What's the basis? What's the core? And we have to get into that core and reprogram it. Now, so every time it comes up, so the connection, if you go back to what you said with the basketball, right? So if I sit there, they did it with piano players, right? So what they did is they put brain scans on them, and they realized that the kids that were visualizing the notes, the same things were firing in the brain as playing the note.
As the kids that were actually
Correct.
playing.
So that's what I mean. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's real. Now, let's perfect example. You can sit there and in your mind create a situation that's not real.
Yeah. You can,
Right?
It's the creative.
Right. So our imagination actually can work in our favor if we take responsibility for why we're thinking and feeling these thoughts. And then we can de-weed it, right? And only plant the stuff that makes us flourish, that brings us positivity. Because it takes just as much time to have a negative thought as a positive thought. You can, law of substitution, substitute a negative for a positive anytime you want. And it's just habit and practice. So if I'm in the habit of allowing my emotions to hijack me, then I'm an emotional person that is the slave to my emotions. But if I am the person that takes responsibility, right, for my emotions and my actions, then I master my emotions. And look, the beginning of time, when I talk about mastering emotions, right, true self-awareness, because fear is an emotion, and the environment is going to trigger the fear, because the sympathetic nervous system is going to react to the environment because it's evolution, it's a survival mechanism. So every time someone cuts us off in traffic or we sense danger, look, perfect example, we're sitting here right now, someone comes in with a gun. What am I going to do? My sympathetic nervous system is going to take over, and I am going to react. That emotion, that fear, I'm either going to attack the guy with the gun coming to attack me. I'm either going to flee because the guy's got a gun, right? That's fear. But what we do, there's a refractory period to what happens or what has happened and how long we stay with the linger. So if someone says to me, Mike, you're a piece of shit, I don't like you, right? That's their opinion. Right? You're full of shit, or I can't stand you, or well, you're running marathons for this little girl, like this little girl later, but whatever it is, right? And has an opinion of me. And if I take that opinion, which is just words that pass through the air, and I sit there all day, right? And I start firing and wiring that opinion, those thoughts are going to bring an emotion, right?
Right.
That's going to make me angry. That anger then is going to fuel an action, because emotion is energy emotion. So when something happens or we're afraid of something, if we slow down and we shorten the refractory period by saying, I can't change, I just can't, the trauma is the hardest thing because it's buried in the subconscious mind. And when we go into the programming, we have to go so deep into the programming to then do the trauma work. So when the trauma comes up, we sit in it. You know what I mean? And we say, okay, I'm going to deal with this trauma. You look at post-traumatic, stress. Well, let's look at it like this. When you go to the gym, when you run, when you exercise, you're stressing to grow. Well, how about the stress becomes post-traumatic growth? That's positive psychology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can't change what happens. So how can I grow from the adversity? My son, okay? I hate roller coasters. I don't like the feeling. For me, I would rather, if you said to me, Mike, would you rather face a wild animal, a tiger, head on, or go on a roller coaster? I will take the tiger head on. I like my feet on the ground. I don't like the feeling of the drop, the dizziness. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I've never liked it. I know some people that can sit on a roller coaster, but I would rather the energy come towards me, that I can manage that. You know what I mean? Because I can take action. I don't like being out of control like that. Even though an ex-drug addict that could could eat mushrooms and I don't give a shit about that. But I don't like speed. I'm not an adrenaline guy. So the other day, my father-in-law bought a little swing set for Orlando, my son. And I wasn't there the first day, and they were swinging him, and he didn't like it. Then the other day, I swear to God. So the swing, he holds him up like this, and Orlando is like...
Petrified.
Excited.
Oh, excited.
And I'm like, I am done. Lets him go, and he just screams in joy and puts his hands up.
Yeah.
Naturally. Now, I never understood why people put their hands up on all. He loves it. I'm like in my head going, oh my God. Now I've sat on a roller coaster with my sister before, and she took the picture of me. I'm petrified of that kind. I admit it. I don't like it. So in my brain, I'm like, all right, I have a feel of roller coasters. He likes roller coasters. I got to go on roller coasters with my son. That's it. So now I've got to go into my programming and figure out in my subconscious mind, what is it I don't like about roller coasters, and retrain myself to enjoy roller coasters, watch images of roller coasters. Like if I put on a picture of like when they do that crazy slingshot, my heart races. Like I'm like, I would never do that. And now I've got to look at it and go, this is amazing. I've got to trick myself into enjoying it and start with small things, right?
Yeah.
Really small things where I get used to, I'm like, I'm enjoying the dip. I'm enjoying this. And really train myself, because when he gets to that age to go, hey, jump on the roller coaster with me, I'm going to be like, you got it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to say to him, oh, your dad's scared of roller coasters. I'm like, no problem, let's do it. Because I can already tell he likes it. Now,
Right.
Is it something I want to do? Absolutely not. But I'm like, perfect training. I got to get it done.
You got to get it done.
I got to get
man.
it done.
Beautiful.
So you know what I mean? I would never tell anyone, look, false evidence appears real. When false evidence appears real, most people forget everything and run. Instead, we must face our fears to rise above them. So breaking fear, believe, rebuild, endure, adapt, keep facing everything and rise.
Wow. That's a lot to think about.
Believe. So breaking fear, believe, rebuild, endure, adapt, because you have to believe,
Yeah.
right? You have to rebuild because you're emotionally, when you have fear all over. So let's rebuild from where I am. Believe, rebuild, endure because you have to face it, right? Adapt because you have to be flexible, right? And then keep facing everything and rise. Keep facing the fears to rise above it.
Beautiful, man. We'll take it out with that.
Okay?
Mike Diamond. Thanks, brother.
Bang.
So that's what's up, guys. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and leave a review to let us know about it. We have some exciting plans in the works for a more interactive experience with our audience, so you're going to want to know all about it, and we'll be making those announcements on Instagram. So be sure to follow myself and Mike Diamond for all of that, as well as some more additional content. That's it for this week. I'll see you next time on the Access to Success podcast featuring Project Shine.